Hare Krishna, everyone. How are you? All good? Hare Krishna. Um, very few people have sent the videos still. I am requesting everyone to send your videos of shloka number 1 of chapter 15. So yeah, so that we can have a good competition, and also you can learn within 2 months you can learn whole chapter. So this is a very good opportunity. So please start reciting. However you can do, just do it. Just just do it. Hare Krishna. So let's start with Jai Radha Madhav, and I hope few more people join. Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Madhava Kunja
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Radha Sham Sundar Radhe
Jai
Jaya Prahlad Narsimha Jaya Prahlad Narsimha Prahlad Narsimha Jaya Prahlad Narsimha
Jaya Prahlad Narsimha Jaya Prahlad Narsimha Prahlad Narsimha Jaya Prahlad Narsimha
Jaya Gaura Nityai Gaura Nityai Gaura Nityai Jaya Gaura Nityai
Jaya Gaurani Jaya Gaurani
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada
Jaya
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Nityai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nityai Gaur Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, if all of you can turn on your videos, it will be great. iPhone 13 Pro is Rubina Mataji?
Priya Mataji.
Priya Mataji. You look so much like Rubina Mataji. Okay, sorry. I thought so, but you look different today. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Very nice darshan, Himanshu Prabhu. Okay, let's start with Prabhu's video, and then we will discuss and we are going to have 2 videos together today. So whatever you see there, note it down. And I have the literature also. I'll be sharing the literature with you. So after you see the video, you can read the literature at home, and next week we'll discuss few questions, okay? Or if you have some questions, you can ask me. We have to move really quickly, so you have to be with me, okay? Okay, that's the first lesson of the book of Lila, His Grace Lila Purushottam Prabhu is, the book's name is, for the newcomers, book's name is Five Aspects of Absolute Truth, or Five Aspects of Bhagavad Gita, in which we are going to learn about Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. Okay. Basically, but in this tenor, we are going to learn only, in this year, we are going to learn only about Ishvara, Jiva, and the three modes of material nature, basically. So next year, we'll include more of the syllabus. There are total 10 lessons, very, very elaborate and very, very basics of Bhagavad Gita. But most of us can never understand the basics of Bhagavad Gita, where we are stuck. If we can solve this puzzle of learning basics of Bhagavad Gita, we can understand Bhagavad Gita. We can, whenever we are reading the book Bhagavad Gita, it becomes very easy for us to understand. If we can understand these 5 aspects of Bhagavad Gita, that is the basic, like, gist of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so the first lesson is Bhagavad Gita, the timeless science. Okay. So this is the lesson 1.1, and 1.2 also. We'll see both the videos today. I have some slides also. After the videos complete, we'll see that also. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think you cannot hear the sound, right? Okay.
Mataji, I could hear the sound. It was
You could?
a flute.
Oh,
Flute.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
The moment you started, I heard it. I don't know about others.
Okay, that's good then. Okay, so that means I don't need to click on this sound, share sound. Okay, fine. Usually we have to for the YouTube videos. So that's why I was wondering that.
Yes, sometimes you can hear, sometimes you can't, but I could hear.
Yes, very good.
If
Thank
you
you for
put it
that.
on again, then maybe.
Yes. And you can see the video also, no?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's a little laggy, but it's okay.
Lagging. Okay, yeah. Should be all right.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Hare Krishna, Suswagatam. It was a nice and pleasing experience for me to meet all of you online. Thank you for registering on this course on Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. We'll be meeting again and again until I complete this course plan, and hopefully this interaction, online interaction, will help us one day to meet in person as well. And I look forward to that pleasant meeting. But what is our objective? Our objective is to learn Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? Why should you learn Bhagavad Gita? What is the motivation? You may say, I'm already, working as a teacher, professor, engineer, doctor, nurse, professional, variegated professionals, and I'm a leader, I'm a housewife, I'm a working professional, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a student. Everybody has something to do. So while we do everything that we are doing, is there a role of Bhagavad Gita? So that is the first and foremost question you would ask me. And let me tell you, Bhagavad Gita is very important. In 1988, when I graduated from electrical engineering, I felt empty within. And I was feeling within a vacuum, and I didn't.
Cannot hear Mataji.
Whether you are a student or a professional, reverses of life are a must. As a student, I may be working very hard, I may be diligent, I may be attending all the classes, but suddenly I get a fail grade. Isn't it? So how do you handle that situation? I'm doing very well in my business and suddenly I make a huge loss. How do I handle it? Or I'm a young boy and getting married to a young girl, everything is so nice, but within months, our natural match is not there. We start quarreling and suddenly we go to the court for divorce. So these are the reverses of life that you and me, all of us, we are going to face. It doesn't matter whether I'm in the nascent state of my career or I'm very mature in my career. It doesn't matter. Reverses of life is the ultimate truth of this world. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to deal with these reverses. This is the only science that is called life science. Anything that happens to me, how do I deal with that? If you have a disease, you can go to a doctor, isn't it? But when you have a disease like reverses of life, no doctor can cure it. Reverses in life, my near and dear ones, they made an accident, and my whole world collapses under my feet. How do I deal with it? So here, no medicine would work, no engineering would work. None of my wealth can help me. I need life science. Okay? And that is why we must read Bhagavad Gita. I've given you a little hint why we must study Bhagavad Gita. Okay? And in particular, you must know that Bhagavad Gita is the quintessence of all the Vedic knowledge that are there in the form of Vedas, in the form of Upanishads, Aranyaka, Samhitas, Puranas, you name anything. Okay, this is the quintessence. This is the gist of everything that is there. And how many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita? Only 700 verses. That means in this world of busy life, we have an opportunity just to bathe ourselves in 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita and get the lessons of life. Is that not very wonderful? I think you will appreciate. So I welcome you again to join this course for registering. After you get benefit, I would request you, please tell your near and dear ones, your friends, colleagues, let everybody come and join us and learn the science of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the most quintessential literature among all Vedic compositions. This composition, as compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva, has been endearing to all those who seek truth, who look for perfection, who are interested in a complete science of everything, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, and nationality. This holy book presents the science of life as it is, which was originally spoken to Arjuna by Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the battlefield of Mahabharata approximately 5,000 years ago. This Bhagavad Gita that we are going to discuss, this is a timeless science. Every science, every knowledge a society possesses at any point of time evolves with time. But Bhagavad Gita doesn't evolve. Why? Because the science of the soul, soul or Atma is eternal. And science of the soul has to be beyond the influence of time. And this is Bhagavad Gita. It's a science of life. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, the entirety of existence, the way it exists, the complete science of its existence is there. That means if I know Bhagavad Gita, I have an opportunity to know everything in totality, not in a fragmented way. Okay? Through ages, Srimad Bhagavad Gita has inspired and guided a host of philosophers and scientists. Its influence is not limited to India. There is not a single language in the world in which Bhagavad Gita has not been translated. Just like Quran and Bible are known all over the world, Bhagavad Gita is also known and respected in the entire world. So let me tell you, everything is existing. Before you are born, I was born. Before this universe created, the eternal world is existing. Temporary world, they manifest, they unmanifest. But the source of this temporary world is always existing. And hence, once you know how to acquire knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, it is fully satisfying. You don't need any other literature. Okay? So this Bhagavad Gita has been translated all over the world, and particularly International Society of Krishna Consciousness, founded by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has taken a lead in translating Bhagavad Gita into all major languages of this world. So you can have your copy as well in your own language. If you have any doubt, please join us in our YouTube channel as well as Facebook page, and you will see that we will help you to get a copy of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita that we will be following. Bhagavad Gita is not a science of a particular community. It is a universal science of the soul. It is a science that compels us to embrace divinity and divine qualities. All other bodies of knowledge are subject to change, but this body of knowledge contained in Bhagavad Gita is timeless, eternal. So this is an eternal science. There are two things. One is divinity. The other is mundane. In mundane, you see all inevitabilities, imperfections. In divinity, there is only perfection. In mundane, there is always incompleteness. In divinity, there is completeness. So, this is what is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita takes us from the plane of imperfection to the plane of perfection. If a big reservoir of water is within one's reach, then where is the need to go looking for a well in order to quench thirst? Bhagavad Gita is exactly like a big reservoir of water that explains the essence of all Vedic literatures. Indeed, there is no need to take resort to any other literature in order to understand the science of self-realization. This is a very nice analogy. I'm giving you a very nice analogy. Suppose you are residing near a big reservoir. Imagine a huge lake or a ever-flowing river. Then you will never look for a pond or a well, anything, because all that water is necessary for your cooking, for agriculture. Everything can be, everything you can get from this big reservoir. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is that book that contains all the knowledge that you need to live a perfect life. As a human being, we want perfection. We do not want to lead a life like animal without any purpose. In the human life, we need a purpose. And this purpose of life, as it is given to us in Bhagavad Gita. So the science of life as it is not there. In Bhagavad Gita, when it started 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke to Arjuna. All of you know this, right? Now Krishna spoke Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita. What is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavan and Bhagavat. That which comes from Bhagavan is Bhagavat. And Gita means song. The song of the Lord. When God speaks, something amazing happens. Imagine in your locality, if there is an announcement that a very big man is coming. Imagine a Nobel laureate or President of America, Prime Minister of India, they're coming. So there will be a huge gathering, right? But instead, if someone says, God has come to speak, what will happen? Everyone from every walk of life, doesn't matter. You are in university, you are a businessman, you are administrator, you are in service provider category, all walks of life, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, everybody will come and hear. And this is exactly as Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna got confused about the duty and the battlefield of Arjuna, and the battlefield. Like Arjuna, we are all confused about our duty. The world is a battlefield. It requires great humility to ask perfect questions. Arjuna has that humility, and thus he surrendered to Lord Krishna, the absolute truth, to get his confusion removed. Similarly, we should also surrender to Lord Krishna while seeking his guidance. Lord Krishna's instructions are compiled in Bhagavad Gita to guide us through ups and downs of life. As I told in the beginning, this is the motivation. Why should we study Bhagavad Gita? Reverses of life. Nobody in this world is freed from reverses of life. Just like Arjuna was confused in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, similarly we are all confused in our own battlefield. As a student in the field of study, we are confused. As businessman in the field of business, we are confused. As an administrator in the field of administration, we are confused. Everyone is confused here or there. And Bhagavad Gita is there to remove that confusion. Bhagavad Gita is meant for those who wish to transcend all confusion. It seems that Krishna spoke to Arjuna, so it meant only for him. But that's not true. It is meant for everybody. When you are confused in your search for truth, then the removal of kind of confusion will bring enlightenment to one and all. Let us see what some of the great historical personalities have said about Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes, we like to do something if that something has been done by some great personality, isn't it? When I was growing up in my childhood days, I used to read a regular monthly journal, magazine. And that magazine, every time there will be a corner where the favorite food of great personalities. And when I used to read that, I will go and tell my mom, Mama, please make this item. Right? So this is what we have a tendency to follow, people who are in higher strata. In Bhagavad Gita also it is said, Yat Yat Acharati Srishta, Tat Tat Evetaro Jana, Sayat Pramanam Kurute, Lokostadana Vartate. Isn't it? That whatever the great people they do, the normal, ordinary people they follow. So now let us hear from some great people what they say. Here is Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. When doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. And this is happening to me. For last 35 years, I'm studying Bhagavad Gita. And every time I read a verse, I have a new experience. And this will happen to you. Albert Einstein, all of you know, right? One of the greatest scientists we have seen on this earthly planet. He says, when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. This is Albert Einstein. Aldous Huxley, one of my favorite philosophers. Before I took interest in Bhagavad Gita, I was very philosophical, and I've read not only Aldous Huxley, Spinoza, Erasmus, then we have our Jiddu Krishnamurti, many philosophers I have read the books. And what Aldous Huxley is saying, Gita is the most systematic statement of spiritual evolution of endowing value to mankind. It is one of the most clear and comprehensive summaries of perennial philosophy ever revealed. Hence, its enduring value is subject not only to India, but to all of humanity. And then there is another person, you might have studied his book. He's a Nobel laureate. One of his books is Siddhartha. In fact, to write this book, he came to India. He learned the Indian culture, and then he wrote this book, Siddhartha. What he says. So Hermann Hesse, the German Nobel laureate, he says, the marvel of the Bhagavad Gita is its truly beautiful revelation of life's wisdom, which enables philosophy to blossom into religion. So in this course, we will follow the textbook Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder of International Society of Krishna Consciousness, popularly known as Hare Krishna Movement. And before we enact our journey to the bathing in the message of Bhagavad Gita, it is important that we understand the principle or spirit behind learning Bhagavad Gita. Any knowledge that you want to have, you must approach that knowledge with utmost humility. When you go to our school, colleges, we must have respect for our teachers. And Bhagavad Gita is about spiritual knowledge perfect, knowledge eternal. And hence, our attitude, our approach to this knowledge has to be that of utmost humility. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says himself, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshikam. 3 points are told here. Tadvidhi pranipatena. So we must follow proper etiquette. A civilization is known by the standard of conduct or etiquette the civilization follows. So tadvidhi, what is that etiquette? Etiquette is pranipatena. With respect and reverence, we should approach a teacher. And we should not simply come in front of the teacher. Suppose you go to a teacher and you have no question, you will not learn anything from him. So pariprasnena, that means I must learn how to ask submissive inquiry. If I do not have questions within my mind, like everybody asks questions about, if you are hungry, then you are asking question, where can I get food? If you are thirsty, you are asking, where can I get water? So such questions even animals ask. As a human being, we must learn to ask questions like, what is the purpose of this creation? Why the solar system is organized the way it is? Why there are variegated species of life? Why I go through suffering although I do not work for it? So many questions. You can have unlimited questions unless you have such questions. Unless you have a question like, who am I? I don't want to die, but I'm dying. Who am I? When I ask such questions, then I must approach a spiritual master. And there, pariprashna, I must ask submissive questions. And then sevaya, I must have the proper etiquette to render service to such a wonderful personality. Why? He's a wonderful personality. Tattvadarshi. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshina. Tattvadarshina, plural. Tattvadarshi, singular. So tattvadarshina. So these spiritual masters, they have seen the truth, and hence they can make me to understand the truth. So this is a very wonderful and auspicious beginning we are making, and I'm pretty hopeful that all of us together will have a very, very divine and pleasurable journey that will reveal the self within. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Okay, any questions for this session?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Are you going to share this video as well?
Video will come in our recording. The class
Okay.
is recorded, so you can automatically see there. Because
Okay.
they haven't been released, these videos are still inside the course only, but they will be releasing soon. So we will be giving you the link after the release from India.
Okay, no problem.
When the
Hare
Gita
Krishna.
Ashram is inaugurated there, they will be releasing. It is
Yeah,
not
okay.
in picture still. So yes, so let's watch second video, because next week onwards we'll be starting class by 6 maximum. Okay, so that we can take 2 videos together, because I'm not left with asking you any questions, because I wanted to ask some questions that I can understand that you people are listening attentively. So I have been asked to ask you the questions, but today we don't have time. But next time we'll quickly start the class. Okay, let's watch the second video. So this class will carry a lot of information. Okay, so you can note down, you can just keep in your mind. And I'll be sharing the literature also. So no need to note down so vast aspect, but just be very attentive.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Hare Krishna. We are discussing on the Bhagavad Gita, the timeless science. This is the first lesson, and this is the second video of the first lesson. In the first video, we discussed certain things. I would like to ask some questions to all of you. Can you please tell me who compiled Bhagavad Gita? We have discussed that. So compilation, Bhagavad Gita is not written. It is not man-made. Bhagavad.
Can anyone tell me who compiled the Bhagavad Gita? Let's discuss here what he's asking.
Vedvyas?
Yes. Okay, that's
Gita is that which was spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. But how that came to writing, so this is called compilation. So it's a conversation that is happening between Krishna and Arjuna. But when they are conversing, they're not writing. Somebody else is writing. And that is Vyasadeva. So Srila Vyasadeva is the compiler of Bhagavad Gita. He's not writer. Okay. So when he wrote Bhagavad Gita, whenever Krishna spoke, instead of saying Sri Krishna Vacha, he writes Sri Bhagavan Vacha, to emphasize the fact that Krishna is the absolute truth. Okay? Bhagavad Gita is not something spoken by an ordinary man who is subjected to 4 different kinds of fault. Right? God himself is speaking. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. That is the importance of Bhagavad Gita. So all kind of buck must stop at Bhagavad Gita. Right? I had this analogy which I asked, which we discussed yesterday. One is that, there is a big reservoir water and there is a well, small reservoir water. So if there is a big reservoir water, you don't worry about whether the water is there in the well or not, isn't it? Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is the big reservoir of Vedic knowledge. You don't have to go here, there. The essence of all Vedic literature is there in Bhagavad Gita. And as I told you, we are all busy, right? Because we are all busy, and God being kind to us is telling us read Bhagavad Gita. So if we read Bhagavad Gita, we don't have to read anything else. 700 verses are sufficient for my perfection, to make me understand the goal of my life. This is interesting. And I gave you a motivation why we should read Bhagavad Gita, right? The most important motivation is that Bhagavad Gita.
So why we should read Bhagavad Gita? I want 3-4 people answering. First of all, first reason.
Can I say, Mataji?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, can I say?
Yes, yeah. Just speak up.
Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture that talks about the Atmas in so much details.
Yeah. Yes, good. The science of soul, he said like that. Okay, good. Next.
It tells us, gives us idea to how to deal with reverses of life.
Yes, good. Yes, what else did he say?
I was about to say that when there are reverses of life, Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to.
Yeah, any other reason? Anyone has?
So another significant point he made, that it is spoken by God himself.
Yes, very good. Nice. Yes, what else? It is a quintessence of all Vedic literatures. So just like he said just now, that if you are staying near a river or a lake, then you don't need a pond or a well, right? So it is a essence of all the Vedic literatures. Okay, that's good. Any other reasons anyone has? This is what I said. Okay, let's move ahead.
Gita is the content of Bhagavad Gita is science of life. I may be physically fit, I may be professionally brilliant, I may be, intellectually excellent, but the reverses of life is a must for everyone. How do I deal with the reverses of life? Okay, with success I get failure, with happiness I get distress, everything, nothing comes alone, right? So science of life, that is what is Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so now let us go to the next level in this lesson. Next level, we will discuss two aspects. One is that because we are part of this gigantic universe, and the moment we contemplate on the nature of this universe, and there are not only one universe, there are multiple such universes, and vis-a-vis when we look at ourselves, we can easily feel that we are very insignificant. So humility is a natural thing that must come to us, because we are so tiny. In spite of being tiny, if we have not developed humility, that means my depth of knowledge is very shallow. And that shallow knowledge makes me feel proud and arrogant. With arrogance, we cannot get answers to deeper questions. So this is something we will discuss, and then we will make certain observations. So let us start. Okay, I hope you are with me. Let's do. The solar system has been a great source of inspiration for early scientists in the modern context. The astronomical data recorded by Tycho Brahe led to the discovery of laws of planetary motion by Johannes Kepler. Subsequently, Newton's universal law of gravitation captured the essence of it. These scientific laws may not make much sense to ordinary populace. However, everybody can appreciate the fact that every object here, these gigantic planets in the solar system, appears to be floating in the space. For example, the planet Earth is like a sphere and is spinning around her axis. If you think deeply, you will realize that all of us are actually hanging, our heads being downward, legs upward. Everything is hanging under some force. Ocean water is hanging, but is not spilling out. This observation led Newton to coin the concept of gravitational force, by which the objects near the surface of the earth are drawn towards the earth. Irrespective of Newton's law of gravitation or Einstein's theory of space-time curvature, every great planet of this solar system has been perfectly situated from the time of creation. In this sense, God's law of gravitation still remains a mystery. See, all of us, we make observations, but those observations do not make much sense within us. Why? Because some other priority in our life has made us so captive that we are not able to look at certain pertinent things. I'll give you an example of my own life. When I was studying in 11th standard, I happened to walk along Mahanadi River in the middle of the night because of some kind of accident, you can call. And as I'm walking along the Mahanadi, I saw the moon up and the sand in the Mahanadi, they're dazzling because of the moonlight. And because I'm alone and I have to walk almost 4 to 5 kilometers in the dead of the night, and nobody else to contemplate except me and the universe around me. And that is when I realized how insignificant, because I was feeling fear within, nobody's around. I felt so insignificant in this creation. And this led me to a profound idea. And with that profound idea, I made an instantaneous appeal to the Lord. Oh Lord, I am only your instrument. So this is a humility. Humility brings us to our natural state. Yes, we are instrument of the Lord. Nobody taught me. But simply being situated in that unique situation where nobody is around, and I felt I am a loner in this gigantic universe, and I'm able to see the stars, see the moon, and could feel the vastness of the existence. And that, as a loner, I felt very, very insignificant. So, as we discussed just now in this lesson, in these two paragraphs, we are talking about the planets floating in the space. Not only planets are floating, like Earth spins around its own axis. Okay, so in that sense, our head, we may think that our head is upward, leg is downward, but it is the other way around. So we are not falling off. The ocean water is not spilling out, although it is hanging. The earth is not falling. And Einstein has given some theory. Newton has given some theory to explain this. And in future, scientists would come and will explore this subject matter. But more important is that before we try to understand how these gigantic objects are floating in space or antariksha, they are already existing by the arrangement of Krishna, God. And hence, God's law of gravitation, what it is we do not know, it is existing. We may try to understand, I'm not saying this is bad. Yes, we must try to understand how things are the way they are. But one thing, we have to be mindful that in God's existence, we are very tiny, insignificant. And the humility of that being insignificant will make us to approach the subject of Bhagavad Gita in a proper spirit. Humility doesn't mean that we are useless. Humility means to be able to appreciate of that infinite God who has done wonderful things. And how do I collect knowledge? We can see that how insignificant we are. The radius of Earth herself is 6,371 kilometers. The distance between Earth and Sun is approximately 150 million kilometers. The radius of the Sun is 6,95,500 kilometers. The city where you are sitting is just a tiny part of this universe. In that tiny city, you live in a very small house. Although you claim that you are the owner of that house, the place is cohabitated by numerous other living entities, mostly unnoticed by you. You know, recently I was in a particular place where I found a person is catching the lizards in his house and trying to throw him outside. I asked him, why you are throwing? No, there are many in my house. I said, whether you want or you don't want, they will be there. Okay, it is better to make peace with them rather than to be disturbed by them. You know, you didn't build a bungalow, or you didn't take a bungalow on rent to cohabit with cockroaches, with lizards, mosquitoes, We didn't do that, but they will be there anyway. So there are lizards, mosquitoes, and many other insects and microscopic germs, etc., which have forcefully occupied some of your space as well. If you count them, they will surely exceed the number of residents in your town. They are also as important as you think of yourself from their perspective. Lizard is not thinking that he is insignificant. He thinks this is his rightful claim to live in your own bungalow. So, my dear friends, try to understand the way the nature is. You'll become much better individual. Such introspection about your identity in this gigantic solar system will naturally make you humble, isn't it? The earth is so gigantic, the sun is so gigantic, there are 8.4 million different varieties of species, from plants to aquatics to birds to animals to reptiles, and varieties of human beings with a different culture. Why they are there? I cannot say I have only the right to live. No, everyone has their right to live. An insignificant ant to even a king or a prime minister or president. Everyone is equal in front of God's creation. Such introspections about your identity in this gigantic solar system will naturally make you humble. In natural humility, one starts asking thought-provoking questions. What is the purpose of this creation? Why the solar system is organized the way it is? Why are there so many varieties of life forms? What is the purpose of my own existence? What is my identity? Numerous such questions may arise when one starts contemplating and introspecting and questioning in this way. The search for truth begins. Okay? So, normally, a human being and an animal are different, isn't it? The humans, they build civilization, not animals. Animals, they don't have their own civilization. You know, humans, they want to develop their own creativity in art, literature, science, economics, you know, mathematics, in varieties of fields. They would like to develop their creativity, right? That the animals don't do. So there is a difference between animal and human being. You have to understand that. And if animal is interested in eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, and I as a human also is interested in eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, then I'm no good. I'm no good. Okay? So that's why it says, Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesha dharmena vihina pasubhi saman. As a human being, I'm different from animals with respect to only one attribute, that is dharma. What is dharma? This dharma is defined only for the soul. Atma. Atma that animates a plant, the very Atma that animates a reptile, that very Atma animates a gigantic body like elephant, and that very Atma also animating this human body, right? So, do I have ever questioned, who am I? What is Atma? What is Atman? What is soul? What is divinity? Human life is very precious. In this life, if we do not give importance to the nature of absolute truth, then our existence will be no better than animals. Why are things the way they are? What substance we are made up of? What will be our destination when we die? These are more important questions than the kind of questions that we're being conditioned to ask. True humility awakens us and makes us bold to ask pertinent questions. Now, if somebody asks me what will happen to me after death, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not frightened because I have contemplated on that question since the last 35 years in this very life. I'm not talking about if I had an opportunity to ask such questions in my previous lives. But at least in this life, for last 35 years, I'm contemplating what would happen to me after death. So it will not be a surprise for me when death comes. And because I've contemplated and I know that although this body will perish, I will not perish. The soul will not perish. So I will not be in ignorance at the time of death like others. I would like, my dear friends, to give up ignorance, come to knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is that torchlight of knowledge. If you have, you will be never in ignorance. You will be always in enlightenment. You will be always freed from fear, distress. You will be always in a joyful state, prasannatma. Okay, so the journey that starts with Bhagavad Gita is an eternal journey. And this journey is always joyous. Even if, when I walk in a jungle, many times the thorns may prick my feet. But the process of trekking through the jungles, through the mountains, is a joyful process. Similarly, this journey of soul, as a soul, is always joyful. Whereas journey of the soul as this mundane body is very painful. So Bhagavad Gita makes us to start a journey, to embark upon a journey in which the journey of the soul starts as a soul, not as body. That means I learn how to be myself. I learn how to be within myself. I learn to find happiness, completeness within myself. And I reject things that are external to me. This is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. And the next video, I'm going to talk about very important observations that you have, I have, all of us we have, but we never give importance to those observations. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the videos. And we are concluding the class. And just one question to everyone. How can we become humble? He gave several examples. Just you just throw your ideas and errors of your learning. This was all about humility. I suppose this second lecture was all about how we can become humble. That is a punchline of this. So various examples he gave and how we can understand. I want one point from each of you. Thank you.
By asking questions, Mataji.
By asking questions, yes.
By quoting that verse, Pariprashnena Sevaya.
Yes, very good. So the self-realized soul imparts you the knowledge, right? And he said they are they. Like it's not one person who is imparting knowledge to you. There are many gurus. In our Guru Pranam mantra also, Gurun, we say Gurun. Gurun means many. So, Updesh Shanti Te Gnanas, Daninas Tattva Darshina, he said. Not Tattva Darshi. Tattva Darshina means they. So, we get knowledge from many sources. Very many gurus who are spiritually very elevated. So, they are all very higher than us. So, that's why also we should feel humble. Yes. And
Also,
if we become humble, then they impart knowledge to us. That's the key.
yeah, by rendering service also, Mataji.
Rendering service. Pariprashnena sevaya. Yes.
By understanding that we are just a part of this whole universe.
Yes, yes. The example he gave for that was,
how insignificant we are.
yes, one example. He,
Mahanadi River.
yeah, while he was
Mahanadi River.
walking, yeah, he was feeling fearful. Like, how lonely am I? Like, you must have experienced some time on the beach when we are alone. It's
Absolutely.
like the wave sound of the waves and the sky, and we are alone, just insignificant, like, and we feel very scared. It has happened to me too one day. Yes. Any other answers?
We are just the instrumental of Lord.
Instruments of Lord. Yes. 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 What else? Examples? He gave many examples.
So when
I
we
was
inquire-
focusing. Oh, sorry.
so
No,
when we
Prabhu, please
inquire
carry
about who am I, without like humble attitude, the one can never ask this question truly to yourself, that who am I? Like you can't be artificial about it. You have to be like realistic. You have to be real and humble in order to ask this question. Basically.
Yes. 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 Very good. Yes. Anand,
I was saying the same thing, Prabhu. It's the humility means the way we ask the question is very important.
very good.
The humility with which we ask the question, because we want to really
Yeah,
know
in a
it, and not we are not
submissive way. Yes.
submissively, and not just like as
Question. Checking the knowledge.
ferocious debate. Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, Priya Mataji, did you learn something? You must have. You are really a good student. No.
Same Mataji, same out of all the other Matajis and Prabhus mentioned, that are serving to the Lord. And as you said, as it was in the lecture, that you have to be very humble and polite to get back from the spiritual master. You can't be arrogant or
Yeah, I'm asking about the examples. He gave several examples actually. If you can,
So
yes.
the example
In
which I think towards the end he spoke about the mantra heart, nidra, bhai, and surrender. So there are four things which differentiate us from the animal, which is when we contemplate towards the dharma, meaning of
Dharma,
life.
yes. Manushya can be related to only dharma. Dharma can differentiate between Manushya and animal. Otherwise, Pashu bhi nara without dharma. So very good point. Excellent.
Eating,
Yes.
sleeping.
Any other points you noticed? Suhani Mataji, Khyati Mataji, Jashwant Prabhu, maybe they are all traveling or something. Must be.
One of the most important things which I felt when we are revisiting and refreshing ourselves all the time, in terms of the learning of the Bhagavad Gita, is that the way Prabhu was giving his realization.
Yeah.
The realizations when he said that when you do it, you'll come across, you'll get the same. When you read the verses, when you reread the verses, you like the whole thing. So there's a process, and it's a very scientific process. So the way he said it is exactly like, you'll see many Prabhus and Matajis who are so wholly engrossed in the preaching and the learning of the scriptures, more or less using the same, and it's very, it's a very, I would say, humbly, but it's a very excitingly humble, kind of a feeling that, to get those realizations, like waiting to get more and more realization.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
So there is a verse which is used a lot of time. So Mataji, if you with your permission. The verse is Vidya Dadati Vinayam. So with the true knowledge, you become humble yourself. This is what Prabhuji was trying to say. You gain the knowledge, you understand what Mataji was saying, reading again and again and again and again, getting the knowledge. Vidya Dadati Vinayam, it will make you humble because you realize how insignificant you are yourself.
Yeah, he said, yeah, that's good. Yeah, he said that the lesser knowledge you are, the shallower you are in knowledge, more arrogant you are. So so we should not analyze a person from his arrogancy, that he like, oh, he's arrogance, so he should be a very less knowledgeable person. You should not interpret. But this is the thing, like commonly said thing. Very good, Mataji. And other examples he gave also of this material universe, like the radius of the solar in front of the earth, and where we live inside the earth in a very small house with all the creatures around us, right? And still we claim on the top of it that this is my house, I'm the owner of this house, so this is me. And also the
Can I add, Mataji?
Pardon me?
Yeah, I would like to add one thought also. Prabhuji also mentioned that it gives us the purpose of life, which right now or every time we keep thinking that what are we are for.
Yeah.
So it also, Bhagavad Gita tells us the truth and the life science of why we are here.
Yes.
What's our purpose?
Very good. That makes us humble. Yes. And also the distances between earth and sun and everything remains constant. How is it possible? So this amazing material world is amazing.
Mataji, do you have any experience that you could share when you felt from within that, we are so small?
Many a times I feel like that.
Yeah, the one which made you really gave you that jerk.
The same example I gave you, that I went to Singapore beach one day, and then my husband and son both were in the car, and I had to come back because my son had some urgency. They went, and I said, no, I want to be here. I like this water. I actually love the sea, the water, the waters of the sea. So like I was just dipping my feet and I was enjoying that. But in Adelaide the sun goes very quickly, and I thought I will reach. And then while I was reaching, there was no one, not even dog owners, no one. And I was only there, and the tide was increasing. And so like I was very much in that fear that, hey Krishna, please save me.
Fear is one thing, yes. Mataji, if it's okay, can I share one small thing?
Yeah.
In Puri, when I went to Puri the first time,
he was saying about Puri only. He was what he was sharing. He's from Puri. So
yeah, I was born in
ocean,
Odisha also.
yeah.
Yes. So in Puri, but I'd never been to Puri. I only went to Puri in 1999. Okay. When I went to Puri, and then we were all in family, and we were near the beach and the sound of the water. And at a certain point, I was just looking at the water and suddenly felt that I'm so minuscule compared to the vastness of the ocean. And like you suddenly felt that it's a like you read, it's okay, you listen, it's okay, but then when you feel it, it's like a sword going, or something like a chakra.
The
But it's
waves
like
are so big here sometimes. Like we were coming back from Melbourne one day, and like in the Great Ocean Drive, we were at the 12 Apostles, and
Apostles,
we went under there was some cave kind of thing, and big waves. And my son, at that time, he was very young and very small, so he wanted to just rush in, mama, I want to go. I was just holding him. He went mad. And
I know
and the waves were too big, like around 12 feet high, very big.
Huge
Waves. Maybe more than that. I don't remember.
Because the eastern side, which is Puri side, the waves are very high. And we were trying to learn how to, dump under the waves also. But it is not easy. And suddenly you realize that realization was huge for me.
Yeah.
It was very profound. And then when I saw Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Ma for the first time in Puri, I felt that we always used to do Rath Yatra. So our Jagannath Baladev was always small as children. And then suddenly when I saw them like that, I said, oh my goodness, they are so
That's
small and so huge.
Mataji, yeah. Me, Abhishek Prabhu, everyone was there. Prabhu, that was my first time. We went, Abhishek Prabhu, Shaman Prabhu was there. And we went to Jagannath Puri. And that time I saw at the night, it was night time, and they were doing, it was already 12 o'clock at night, and they were doing all the garland service. They're putting on garlands, beautiful.
Yeah.
Decorating Jagannath with
Yes.
garlands, and there were Dhup Agarbatti was going at the back of the deities. And
Unreal.
That scene was just Vaikutha.
Absolutely. Because you suddenly see that Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are actually small.
Yeah.
They are small, but they are huge.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was small and huge became one.
Yeah.
So I was like, the hair at the back of my neck was like, had risen. And I was like in a state of like, I'll never forget that ever in my life. And I hope I never forget afterlife also.
Yeah. Yeah, same. So, yes.
Can I share one
Yes,
emotion?
please go.
So yes, so I mean, I felt insignificant a lot of time in my life, but just recently I will say this, and if everybody can share this emotion. Recently, I felt insignificant yesterday when we were at Victoria Square. Felt insignificant that we can't do anything. We think that everything is under control, but we can't do anything for our brothers and sisters who are in Bangladesh and suffering. All the Hindus are suffering there. So we were there, we were demonstrating, we had a rally there, but felt so insignificant, so helpless, that we think that we are everything, but we are nothing. And then Pamanita Prabhu said one thing. He said that we don't have to worry about any prime minister to listen to us, any UN to listen to us. It's the kingdom of Krishna. So we should pray to Krishna, and Krishna owns everything, and he will fix everything for us. So we did a big kirtan after that. But yes, that is the recent I felt insignificant in this world. We couldn't do anything. We just stand there and watch what's happening. So I will request everybody to please pray for everybody there, for their safety, if we can.
Whose safety? బంగ్లాదేశ్ లో అక్కడ హిందూస్ ని చంపేస్తున్నారు. జగన్నాథ్ అదంతా ఇప్పుడు రీసెంట్ గా
Mataji, Lord Ganesh was not the one who wrote who wrote? Yeah, Lord Ganesha wrote Ati Mataji.
No, that's the Vedas.
It was spoken by Vyasadeva. And teaches us how to live. Okay, this is answering. Okay, fine. Okay. Last part, I have now decided like we will all have a darshan also at the end. So just to purify this whole process that we are going through, I'll just give you a glance of the deities at our home. Rohin, can you play the, yeah, please.
మాతాజీ వాళ్ళ డీటెయిల్స్ కాదు, డీటెయిల్స్ చూపిస్తారంట. I bet it's good. మాతాజీ వాళ్ళది చేజ ఇంకా ఉన్నాయి అవి. వావ్, ఎంత పెద్దగా ఉందిరా. వామ్మో, ఎన్ని పూలు పెట్టిల్రా. టెంపుల్ బాగుంది కదరా. హరి బోల్. వావ్, జగన్నాథ్ బలదేవ్.
హరి బోల్, హరి బోల్.
హరి బోల్. Mukku. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukku Vrinda. Fold your hands and lay the bit of Mukku. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then out of good one.
Adi Purusham Ramaham Govindam Adi Purusham Ramaham Jamin Govindam Adi Purusham Ramaham Jamin Manvanda Maravinda Dalaya Taksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundaram Kandar Bhako Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Jami
These are the deities of Leela Purushottam Prabhu. This is Lord Nrsimha and Lakshmi Devi and Giriraj Govardhan. This is Shaligram Shilas, Radha Krishna and Prabhupada. So this is Vaikuntha 664. That means it is IIT Kanpur Darshan. Recently they are moved to Mandi. So now these deities are at Mandi. Thank you everyone for joining, and we hope to meet next week again with few more contestants and participants. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
for kind and social. Thank you.
Thank you for a lovely
Krishna.
next.
Hare Krishna.